Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we are starting a different My Team career mode series. This is going to be a somewhat simulated series. So what I'm going to be doing, as I spoke about in my last My Team career mode video, was that I'm going to create a team and I'm going to manage the team. So I'm going to do all the activities, all the upgrades to the car, everything in the background, but I'm not going to physically race the races. I'm going to simulate everything that involves driving the car. So in each video, I'm just going to run over one whole entire season of the My Team career mode. So I'll show you in this video the first bits of what I'm going to do, you know, how I set up the team, who's in the team, and what sponsors we sign, engine suppliers, all that sort of stuff. But then as far as everything else goes, I'm just going to show you the race results, who wins the championship, some things like driver moves, but nothing in regards to developments that I put on the car. Just assume that that stuff is going on in the background, all the driver activities and everything else from in between each race. But before we get into it, just remember that if you like these types of videos, F1 gaming videos and all that sort of stuff, remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Would be a big help to me, as we are just very fresh and getting going in this world of F1 gaming. So we are selecting a new team and we are going to do a newcomer team, and I thought this was the best option because we want to start from the back. We don't want to go and be like a midfield challenger straight off. We want to build from the back, full season, and we are going to customize some of the settings. And all I did was left everything on default pretty much. I put all the faults up so that you could have engine failures. I don't know how that was going to work or not. Simulation damage, and then put the AI up to 100. We didn't put the icons in. We chose Xenon as our sponsor to get us the biggest bang of money starting off. Renault is the engine that we're going to choose, and Oscar Piastri is our teammate. And our guy that we're going to create for this entire 10 seasons is another Australian and currently in F2, son of the great motorcycle champion Jack Doohan is going to be our driver. And this is the car livery for Mitsubishi, our team. If you missed it, it's in the title. It says that we are going as Mitsubishi, and because Mitsubishi is a partner of Renault, that's why I chose the Renault engine. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to find a manufacturer that has allegiance to one of the engine suppliers. I went through I'm showing you guys stuff that I am doing in the background. This is the only time I'm going to show you it, just so you know that I am doing it. And then we're going to go into starting the races. So you can't at Bahrain do that first session. It actually takes you in to do it, but then you go into the second session. I'm only going to do 2 practice sessions of simulated development programs so that I can get some resource points and everything so we can still develop the car. Otherwise it's pointless because we can't do anything to the car. So into the first race, and Max Verstappen takes the first win of the season, Charles Leclerc second, and Sergio Perez third. We finish way down in 18th and 19th in our first race, but not too bad, you know, it's where our car is. And that obviously puts Max Verstappen in the lead of the championship. And then we're going over to the constructors, where Red Bull takes the early lead over Ferrari and Mercedes, who score the majority of the points. Mitsubishi in last. Second race in Saudi Arabia, Max Verstappen wins again. Charles Leclerc in second again. Sainz gets third this time, and we get a 16th and a 19th. So Jack Doohan getting the higher position, still, you know, getting lapped at this point. Verstappen extends his lead in the championship on Charles Leclerc, and Sainz nudges his way into second. We slip down due to we're just at the back, so probably going to be fighting those back marker teams for most of the year. Ferrari and Red Bull still at the top. Red Bull got a little bit more of a lead going there. Third race in Australia, Verstappen wins again, third win in a row. Carlos Sainz this time finished second with Perez in third. Once again, we are down the back, 18th and 19th. and pretty much the only person we're beating is Latifi. Max Verstappen is just pushing himself even further away. Carlos Sainz is now second in the championship, and we keep dropping as our results are not improving. Still at the bottom, I think because Albon is just slightly better than us, so he is helping Williams stay ahead. Fourth race in Imola, and this is the sprint race. I just thought I'd just show you guys the sprint races because they're kind of an anomaly. Max Verstappen wins that, and we'll start on pole for the race. We do our normal trick and run in those bottom 5. Verstappen wins the race, so building up a bit of a streak here. Leclerc in second again, and then the 2 Mercedes. We don't improve throughout the race. From the sprint race, we hold position in 17th. Jack Doohan does, at least, not me. I'm just the manager. And Verstappen just increases his lead in the championship even further, and we hold station, pretty much making up the numbers at the back of the championship. Red Bull extend their lead as well in the constructors. Ferrari are also making a bit of a break on Mercedes, so becoming a 1, 2 and 3 horse race, and Max Verstappen wins the overall sprint combined race. Miami now, and Verstappen again another win, and Charles Leclerc again another second, and we again are down in that bottom 15 positions. Oscar Piastri not being able to beat Jack Doohan at this point in time. Verstappen is now at least 2 races clear, more than 2 race wins clear in the championship. We keep sliding down the drivers' standings. Jack Doohan and Oscar Piastri. Mitsubishi sitting right down the back, below Williams, and looking pretty ominous at the moment. Max Verstappen, again, in the Spanish Grand Prix, just going for that streak. He'd probably already be up there on one of the all-time streaks for most wins in a row, if you're thinking about what he did winning the race at Abu Dhabi in 2021. So you add that to whatever he's won in this one. He continues to increase his lead in the championship, and nothing changes at the back. We are better than Latifi. That's pretty much it. Mitsubishi at the back still of the constructors standings, and we go to Monaco, and Verstappen wins again. This time Lewis Hamilton is in second and Perez is in third, and we DNF. Jack Doohan, he DNFs, and Oscar Piastri finishes 2 laps down on the leader. Verstappen now has an 85-point lead already, only a handful of races in to the season, and we're getting nice and comfortable there in 20th and 21st position, and also the same goes for our constructors position in 11th. Moving on to Azerbaijan, and Verstappen wins again and gets the fastest lap. Sergio Perez in second, Leclerc in third. We DNF again, and Oscar Piastri gets lapped, and it's not a good run so far for the Mitsubishi team. Max Verstappen has almost a 100-point lead in the championship, and we are not even halfway through the season. Leclerc is in second, and Oscar Piastri now has slipped behind Nicholas Latifi in the fight for the wooden spoon. Mitsubishi still at the back of the pack, below Williams and Aston Martin with no wins, no points. Canadian GP, Max Verstappen just dominating the season so far. Lewis Hamilton finishes second. Jack Doohan and Oscar Piastri 19th and 20th, 1 and 2 laps down. Ocon 7 laps down. Verstappen now is just making it pretty much almost a foregone conclusion before we even hit the halfway point of the season. Piastri stays at the bottom of the table, and Doohan is in 20th, and Mitsubishi holding station. Aston Martin gaining a point, so they're making some progress. British GP, Max Verstappen again first, Leclerc second, Doohan 20th, Oscar Piastri 21st, only not at the back because George Russell DNF'd. So Max Verstappen now has almost a 5-race winning lead if he was not to finish any races from here on out. And Jack Doohan 20th still, Piastri 22nd, Mitsubishi at the back. Hoping we can get above that Williams because it's not looking good. Charles Leclerc in Austria wins the sprint race, and Verstappen seems to be a fair way down. He didn't finish, I think, and he is going to start from the back of the grid. That draws Leclerc a little bit closer in the championship standings, but not really going to make a huge dent. And in the driver's standings, this gets a little bit out of whack when you do the sprint races. It puts you in places where you're not. See, like we're in second, but I think we're in 10th, but I think once it all irons out at the end of the weekend, everything kind of fixes itself. So Leclerc wins the race and breaks Max Verstappen's winning streak, and even though he finished last in the sprint race and started at the back, he finished in second. Unbelievable. Ocon DNFs, and that just keeps us one position out of the back for the Mitsubishi team, finishing pretty much line astern where we're always finishing. Actually make a jump in the driver's standings above Latifi and Joe. Red Bull now have a commanding lead in the constructors over Ferrari, who also have a bit of a gap on Mercedes. Halfway point in the season now, and we need to re-sign our driver or find a new one. And we elect to go and try and re-sign Oscar Piastri. We don't have much money, and he declines. He says, "Get stuffed, Jack. We are out of here. We don't like the performance of this team. Shove it. I'm going somewhere else." And he ends up actually going to Alfa Romeo and displaces Zhou Guanyu. So we had a look around, and I felt like the best bang for buck was Marino Sato. He's also Japanese, and Mitsubishi's a Japanese manufacturer, so I thought let's just put those two together. We are majorly off on the development on this car, so far behind Williams, and that's not looking good. That looks like we're going to be playing a lot of catch up for the rest of the season, and pretty much going to have to tank it for the rest of the season to try and develop the car for next year. Going into the French GP now, and Charles Leclerc wins the race, but Max Verstappen is still in second, Lewis Hamilton third. We are still rubbish, and doing 19th, 20th for Sato in his first race with the team, and Max Verstappen still holding about a 100-point lead over Leclerc. Hamilton is in third in the championship, and we are 20th and 23rd. Obviously, Sato's only had one race, so you can't do much about that. Mitsubishi now solidly where they have been all season, and that's at the back. Leclerc wins in Hungary, and George Russell finished second with the McLaren of Lando Norris in third. Doohan and Sato once again finishing at the back, minus Lewis Hamilton, who retired, and Verstappen still has a pretty solid and almost unassailable lead in the championship. Doohan in 20th and Sato in 23rd. Guan Yu Zhou's deselected there because he's now no longer in the team, and Piastri has taken his seat at Alfa Romeo. Red Bull have a massive lead in the constructors, but Leclerc wins again in Belgium. So he's had 3 or 4 on the trot now, and it's maybe making a little bit of a charge. Where we DNF'd Doohan, not me. Again, I keep saying that. Doohan DNF'd. Sato just above him in effective last position. Verstappen is getting clawed back slightly. We are still down the back of the standings there for the drivers, and the same goes again for the constructors. Ferrari making a little bit of a dent in Red Bull's lead. We just take another quick look, and Mercedes actually has the best car now, and over Red Bull, and Ferrari is also better than them. And that makes sense with George Russell winning his first GP ever at the Dutch GP. Perez DNFs, Jack Doohan, Sato, have a guess. And then we're looking at still Verstappen actually probably extended his lead there a little bit, must have finished slightly above Leclerc. Doohan and Sato still in 20th and 23rd or 22nd, whatever you want to call it. Mitsubishi at the back in the constructors. And after this race, we have a retirement. Fernando Alonso has retired from F1 for the second time, and you would say the final time, or he's not going to come back in this game. So he is gone, and there will be a spot clearing up at Alpine for next season. Italian GP, Leclerc wins at home for Ferrari, and it is the two Mercedes behind him. Jack Doohan and Sato finish a lap down at the very back of the field. Max Verstappen is slightly losing that lead. He had it's been about 60 points that Leclerc has clawed back, and we've now, Jack Doohan that is, have fallen below Oscar Piastri, who is now in that Alfa Romeo. Mitsubishi, I've seen it all before, at the back of the constructors title there. George Russell wins another race in Singapore as Mercedes start getting some performance out of their vehicle. 16th for Doohan this time, not at the back. Sato actually finishes in front of Ocon and Tsunoda. They obviously had problems. Max Verstappen, again, losing a little bit of his lead, but it's still, 60 points. So, and we're getting towards the end of the season, so it's going to be pretty hard for anyone to make that up. Mitsubishi, a first season to remember, but we are a newcomer, and next season could be different. George Russell, third win of the season, with Lewis Hamilton finishing just behind him. We resume our position at the back of the grid, minus Daniel Ricciardo, who had a DNF. Max Verstappen, his lead has diminished a little bit more. He is only now 58 points in front of Leclerc. And yeah, nothing changes at the back for the Mitsubishi drivers of Doohan and Sato. Same goes for the constructors, and now Williams have a point. So pretty much we haven't even got close to the points, so I don't think anything's going to change there. Lewis Hamilton wins in the United States, one of his favorites, and maintains that record of winning a race in every season that he's been in. Doohan, Sato, back of the grid. Max Verstappen does gain a bit back in his championship hunt, and Leclerc's hopes of winning his first ever World Drivers' Championship are quickly fading with only a few races to go. Doohan at the back with Sato, Mitsubishi at the back, as they've been all season. And we are now going to go over to Mexico, where George Russell wins his fourth race of the season. Max Verstappen just behind him. Perez follows him, then Leclerc. And 3 cars DNF at the back, so Doohan and Sato are promoted to 18th and 19th. Verstappen now has a 70-point lead, and that is pretty much job done for the championship, because we only have 2 races to go and you cannot win it from there. So Verstappen is technically the world champion, mathematically now. Mitsubishi at the back. Red Bull can still lose the constructors if they completely drop the ball in the last 2 races. This is a sprint race in Brazil, and Max Verstappen wins that, qualifies first on the grid, and Jack Doohan, Sato 19th and 20th. Verstappen turns that into a win and just keeps rubbing Leclerc's face in the mud that he's already won the championship. Doohan jumps up to 19th, but as I said before, that's a bit of a weird one. When you do these sprint races, it's not really a good barometer of where they are. It all corrects itself after the main race. Max Verstappen wins in Brazil and just further extends his lead, and Sato, Doohan back down where they've been. They've lost a bunch of positions in the race to slip back to the back. Verstappen's just confirmed his position at the top, and Leclerc is pretty much clear in second, so he will finish second in the championship. Doing jumps above Latifi and Oscar Piastri. How's that move going for you, mate? Not what you expected it to be, even though they both have technically 0 points, so it doesn't really matter. In the final race, Hamilton wins, so Mercedes are coming, it seems, towards the end of this season, and maybe that flows into season 2. Doohan and Sato at the back again. Oscar Piastri DNFs, and so does Stroll. Verstappen takes the first world driver's title in this My Team career mode simulation. Jack Doohan 20th, Sato 23rd. Piastri ends up getting in front of us. Would have been a good little moral victory to get in front after he left the team halfway through the season. Now at the end of each season, we are going to just do a little update on the all-time win stats, and Max Verstappen is equal to Nigel Mansell and only 1 win behind Fernando Alonso in the all-time wins. Red Bull jumps Team Lotus with their 11 wins to go into 5th position all-time, and a record was broken this season. Max Verstappen, 11 consecutive wins, beats Sebastian Vettel's previous record of 9, so more of that probably coming in seasons to come. See who else can maybe jump up onto that board. For next season, we got a regulation change for the aero and the chassis. So there was a bunch of parts that I needed to basically consolidate to make sure that we could still use them for next season and not lose any more performance. We finished well behind the rest of the pack as far as the development race goes, and the performance chart dictates. And hopefully we can do more in that space in the coming season, maybe with some more money. Sato, we had to re-sign him or choose someone else. And I was looking at Guan Yu Zhou, or Zhou Guan Yu, because he was the best rated driver that was available. And with the funds that I had at the time, I went for a medium risk and he declined. So I didn't realize at the time that I could just simulate a day forward and then go back in and reapply for, renegotiate to get that contract done. But whatever, now I know. But I went in and I ended up getting Robert Schwartzman. He was the best guy available basically in the F2 field, and we'll see what he can do. You know, he's one of the front runners in F2, so logical, you know, selection. That's the end of the season, guys. So we only can go up from here, and these are our drivers for next season: Jack Doohan, Robert Schwartzman. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I will do another one of these soon. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and you enjoy F1 gaming videos. I will be doing some more My Team and this simulated My Team very soon. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.